Hello folks, welcome to the canal channel Jose. Today I'm gonna show you how to diagnose or how to find out if your door switch is working or not working when the light in the dash doesn't come on. Sometimes we have 4 doors in the car, even the trunk or the hood, and it's sending a signal to the dash. It's saying that one door is not shut, and that's how we tell, or we get out the car and we start inspecting which door is not completely shut and closed. So today I'm going to show you how to diagnose that door that is not, once you open it, it doesn't send the signal to the dash, the light doesn't come on the dash. So probably you got one of these sensors that is bad now. So opening, closing the door, it starts, these sensors have a lot of usage, especially driver side and passenger side on the front side. So today I'm going to show you these sensors. And most of them work, they're bolted down to the frame, so that's how they grab the ground, and one wire goes all the way to the dash, to the light bulb, and that's how they get the light to turn on. So once they switch, the door opens, it sends ground to the light. It's telling you, hey, you got a door that is open. So we're going to show you how to take it up and how to diagnose it if in case you're not getting a light on the dash. So here's our sensor. When our door comes in, pushes the sensor and it latches itself here. So that's how this is latch or not latch, depending on how much is pressed in. So these sensors don't go bad really often, but they can go bad though. It's really rare for them to go bad. So I'm going to show you how to take it off. So you just peel that off. Usually they have a bolt or a screw. This is a 10 millimeters a bolt. You just pull that out, take it off. Take the bolt completely out. Don't lose the bolt. And then now you pulled out, and then you angle it and you pull down like this so the wire comes out. So this is your sensor. So now to expose the whole structure, this rubber piece can come off. See, just like it's a cover. So the sensor will be sitting down just like this. That's how it will look. That's how it will look bolted down. So the door is pushing here, and because of this bolt is going into the frame, is grabbing ground, and then this plate that is here on top, this plate is grabbing the ground, whatever the bolt is screw on, bolted down, because the frame has negative, so it's sending ground, and then this plate is grabbing it, and then right inside here, that's how when these pistons, this little piston is extended out, makes contact with the plate, and it sends the signal so the light bulb can complete the circuit of ground. But when it's pushed in, there's no ground. But when the door is not closed, there's ground, no ground, there's ground. So this is how it works. This sensor only, the light bulb is grabbing ground from here. Depends if the switch is closed, it doesn't grab ground, so it doesn't turn on. So if it's open, it grabs ground, and then it tells you on the dash that there's a door that is not closing right. But if it's not, that door is not, if the door is closing all the way or is open and the light never goes on in the dash from whatever side it is, that sensor can be bad, and we're going to show you how also to diagnose that. So tell if this sensor is bad. So what we can check is, first check if that wire is all the way in, it is connected to the sensor. Push the sensor by hand and then attach it to the ground and see if that worked, that made a difference. Usually it could be the wire that can be not plugged in. So to test if this sensor is bad and you have no signal being sent to the dash, what I recommend to do is grab one of these test lights for for 12 volts. And what you can do is attach the one end to the ground with a clamp to the ground, and then touch the wire, and that should send some ground or close the circuit. By you won't get power here. This is to test 12 volts, but you actually can help it by sending ground through there. So you'll see what I mean. I'll show you on the dash. So now I'm gonna check. So I got my clamp into the latch, find a ground place, and then grab the sensor and then touch the exposed copper from the wire, the closest to the wire. And then as you touch it, look at the dash and see if the light turns on. And why I'm doing this is because we want to go the easiest way before we start unplugging it, to make sure that the copper gives the ground, and is the easiest way we can do this, by just sending ground through the 12 volt tester. And you look at the dash, and if you see that it's turning on and off as you do this, then your sensor is bad. But if you do this and there's no current being sent, you might have a break. You might want to puncture the wire here and do that too. Test and see that it might be a break here on the wire. But you do this in the copper, the easiest way out. You start testing before you start replacing, and the troubleshooting can get you a long ways without replacing unneeded parts. So right now we test the light, and it's turning on and off on the dash. This sensor is working, but I'm showing you how I troubleshoot these sensors, these switches. So now, folks, what we're gonna do is I'm gonna attach the tip of the 12 volt tester into the wire at the end. And as you can see, I'm not closing and not opening the door. I'm just testing that that there's ground sent to that light bulb, which needs to turn on. So all it needs that light bulb is that those switches on the doors send ground to the light bulb. So you open either door, and as long as any of those doors are open and they're sending ground to the light, is gonna be on. But if one of the doors is open and is staying off, then you got a problem with that sensor. You gotta test it first before start removing parts. You just test it, send the ground through the wire, see if it turns on. Then you verify that the wire is good. So now the sensor is the problem, the switch. So now you replace the switch, and you save yourself a lot of time or a shop by doing it yourself. All it is just troubleshoot it, and then you can replace it by ordering the part, and then you know that that part is working now because it's turning on. You just verify that it wasn't working right. Remember, folks, you can just test this sensor to be if this switch, if it's sending that signal to the dash, by using a 12 volt tester. You just hook it up to the ground, grab the tip, touch the wire, the exposed wire that is ground, and see if that light comes on in the dash. But remember to do, if you open any other door, you're gonna have the light on, because that other door is interrupting your diagnose. So you don't want to have any other doors open while you're doing this, except for the one that doesn't get that light on when it's open. So you tested it. Once you see that that light comes on the dash while you add ground to that wire, then you know that you gotta replace the sensor, so you can have a working light to tell you that you got maybe a door open in the future. So now we have replaced our sensor because we found it's bad. We connected it. We put the sleeve of the rubber piece on, and this is how it slides on this one. There's a little strip on the back that you gotta slide through, and then make sure that it goes over that little button, and then slide it on an angle and push it right in. We'll put the bolt in. We tighten it with the ratchet. Okay, hang tighten, put it back in, cover it, and you have a working sensor now. So now you verified in the dash that when this is pushed in, it should turn off the light on the dash. When it's pushed out or released, it should turn on the light on the dash. So that's all it does. All it does is it sends ground that it is being grabbed by the frame through the sensor once it's open, closed, or open circuit. So that's all it does. So if it's pushed in, it doesn't send signal. If it's out, it sends signal. Okay folks, so all we have used for this is a 10mm socket, a little ratchet, and we have used a 12-volt tester to verify that there was ground being sent through the wire to the dash. So like I said, a tip is that close all the doors and leave the one that you're working on open, and verify while you're doing the diagnose that there's ground being sent to the dash. Because if you got another door open, like I said, you won't be able to tell if that sensor is sending ground or not to the dash. So simple, and once you verify that is a sensor or the switch, you just buy another one, replace it, and you have a diagnose for very low price and fix it yourself. Well folks, I hope you have enjoyed this video, and we'll see you with more videos here in el canal de Chano Jose.